How's it going, Dopemon fans? On November 9th, 2021, we went to London, Ontario, where the London Knights hosted the Guelph Storm for some Tuesday night OHL action. Now, we thought it'd be appropriate to take some video, clip it all together, and then cap it off with a little bit of a discussion at the end.
And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to incentivize us to produce more dope content. And if you saw the game live or on TV and have an opinion on anything, let us know what happened, and don't forget to drop a comment down below.
Over in 10 seconds!
What a game, Ryan.
Incredible. Incredible game for OHL, super tight. Went to overtime. Kind of an unlucky...
Yeah, it was an unlucky kind of ending.
An unlucky play there by your boy
Isaiah George. He definitely kind of just flopped on that one, you know, give the goalie a tap apologize after.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, like you said, it's a tight game. You know, when you're facing the London Knights, you can kind of almost expect sometimes a blowout. You don't want that to happen. You know, when you go to a game live, you want it to be tight, and we got to see some overtime action. It was really exciting. And...
yeah, it was an exciting game. We didn't have all the goals, obviously, in our. We can. We'll link to the OHL website. You can just watch the game if you want.
They didn't have all the goals either, so...
Yeah, they didn't even have all the goals in the highlights, but Colton Smith opens the scoring his 7th year from Ruslan Gazizov. Antonio Strange's veterans. Gazizov came over recently.
Yes, came over from Russia. He's only played like 5 or 6 games. Yeah. He'll probably cut to his prospects card here. But he came over, he played in Hlinka, he looked pretty good, and he looked really good tonight. He made a couple of really amazing, you know, quick turns and makes a pass, gets an assist twice, 2 in this game, and this is one of them from behind the net, does a quick little spinorama, passes to Colton Smith, and
the
net.
Really incredible. You know, he was the primary assist on the tying goal, the 3-3 goal on the power play. There, he's the primary assist. And he was the primary assist on the opening goal for Colton Smith. And the thing I noticed with him the most, too, is he was snarly, you know, pushing, you know, after guys after the play, chopping people. Like, he plays a little bit with a little bit of chip on his shoulder. I really like that about his game. It wasn't just about the offense. He was doing all sorts of things.
When I saw him play for Russia at the Hlinka Cup in August, he was a best forechecker they had on the team. You know, he's always there and always creating chances. So that's what he did tonight.
Yeah, what do you think about Colton Smith?
You know what?
Draft eligible.
I've had a few complaints about him being a little bit soft. You know, there's some board plays where I feel like he could use his strength and his body and get in there. He's kind of just passive with a stick, but you know, he scored tonight. Showed he does have that sniping skill, and you know, things will come to him. You know,
got a little bit of finish around the net. He was every time I saw him, he was like kind of floating in the upper neutral zone, waiting for that cherry picking. Little kind of cherry picky kind of play. No, he obviously finished on this first goal, and it was great.
It's 7th of the season. He does have the skills to finish. He's not just cherry picking for nothing. He does have the finish.
Marco Sikich. Ties the game for Guelph a few minutes into the second period. His 4th of the year is unassisted.
That was a beautiful breakaway. That was all him. He created himself, went 5-hole, and caught Brochu, you know?
Yeah, he's the kind of the forgotten guy on that Zhilkin Pastujov line, which is doing the majority of Guelph's offense on day. Kind of the forgotten guy. Good to see him get a little bit of spotlight. Other goals I want to highlight was Guelph's second goal, the 2-2 goal, Daniil Chayka.
Daniil Chayka has had an amazing game tonight. He was all over it. He had a goal, had an assist. He was defensively, he was tight, he was physical when he was checking, he used his reach, he used his size, you know, moved quickly despite being, you know, 6'4", and he's everything that you want in a defenseman who's almost NHL ready. Of course, he came over, he was playing in the KHL in April, so the OHL might even be a little bit of a step down for him, and he's showing that he's ready for a higher level of competition.
Yeah, out of everyone on the ice on both teams, he looks the most like a professional hockey player. A lot of kids in the game, a lot of underagers for both teams. Daniil Chayka, like imagine not drafting this guy in the first round. Imagine. He goes, what was it, 38th last year to the Vegas Golden Knights. You had him on top of your list for Russian prospects.
I had him as the number 1 Russian prospect. I had him ranked 19th overall in the entire draft, and I'm a little bit pissed he dropped.
Yeah, so I'm glad you get to see Chayka kick ass in the OHL. I had a great game. The 2-2 tying goal kind of cuts into the middle. Great shot. Danny Zhilkin and Ben McFarland with the assists there.
Danny Zhilkin, another good game from him. He's a first-year draft eligible. Might be the highest ranked of all the...
Yeah, of the skaters we saw today, yeah, he'll go the highest out of all the draft eligible guys on both teams. He stood out, I think, a lot to me. Great player, amazing skill, just overall. There's nothing that stands out stands out so much in his game that.
No, it's not like he's a playmaker or a sniper. He's a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. He's a great skater.
Both in this game, they put him on the wing and in the middle, and he thrived in both positions. So he can play center, he can play wing, he can do a little bit of everything, and he really shined tonight.
Yeah. Another guy I want to highlight real quick, Sasha Pastujov, played in the U.S. National Development Team program last year and got drafted
third round.
In the third round, yeah. Didn't look great today. Had some offense. Obviously, he had the go-ahead 3-2 goal, second period power play. But other than in the offensive zone, there's something about this player that I don't like. He needs to start developing like a little bit more of a two-way game. You pointed out live in the game, like look at him float back.
With Zhilkin, his line mate was skating really hard back, and Pastujov just kind of waltzes his way back and waits at his own blue line for the puck to come to him to chip it up and make another chance. He's not making stuff happen in his own zone. He's waiting for the puck to come to him, and that explains why he dropped to the third round. We kind of wondered, there was a lot of hype around him being maybe a late first, early second round pick, and he dropped and it was kind of question marks, and I see it now that his game just is complete. You don't draft incomplete players in the first two rounds.
Another guy we wanna talk about is Isaiah George.
Going into this game, we thought, just from what we had seen in the few clips of few games of London we had watched, we really liked him, particularly in the offensive zone. He's always got his head up. He uses his skating really well, good acceleration, good turns, but doesn't have the top speed, but he uses that acceleration in the offensive zone to get to the puck first and keep the puck alive. And we saw him do that a few times in this game. It keeps it alive, and that's what he's best at. But with that lack of speed, he got beat a few times just as often. There was, I think it was Sasha Pastujov who got right past him and, should have had a penalty shot, but it ended up just being a holding call, and that ended up being their power play goal.
Yeah, the power play.
Which Sasha Pastujov ended up scoring on, and that's costly.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Good body position. He has no straightaway speed. He needs to start, developing his foot speed a little bit if he wants to be considered a top pick in the draft. Is he draft eligible coming up this year? No, yeah, had an okay game. Obviously, the blip at the end didn't help. His overall game performance, but up until that point, I thought he was playing okay.
He was playing all right, though. I think he got overshadowed a guy who played a little bit less that I didn't have ranked as highly before, Jackson Edward, who I thought really stood out in this game.
Yeah.
He's physical, he's defensive, he was always in the right spot. My criticism of gap control that I thought was weak on him, wasn't there. That's just, he's pretty good. He's better than I thought. And defensively, he stood out a little bit more for me than Isaiah George. Offensively, I noticed he couldn't get the puck, through to the goalie. It was a little bit of a struggle for him in the offensive zone, but that's not always what you need from a defenseman. You always need offense. Yeah, I like that. And you can throw the body around.
Yeah, absolutely demolished a couple guys. We caught one of them. In our little montage, you can go back and try to find it. He absolutely blows someone up along the hash marks there, and had a couple other pretty good hits in the corners and stuff today. Two more guys I want to talk about before we end this video, the goaltenders. We'll start with Owen Bennett of the Storm. Owen Bennett hasn't been drafted, has he? No. And he had a good game. I think he was a third star of the game.
He was a third star, yeah.
Had a very good game, for OHL as far as the goalie save percentages go. They're never in the high 9.
No, it's usually a little bit lower.
It's usually the OHL is a lot more high scoring than other Canadian. There's something about his movement in the net. He didn't seem comfortable a lot of the night, and it was a complete
caught flat-footed, right?
Caught flat-footed the odd time. There was one goal where he kind of did a weird double step, instead of just sliding across, he kind of did this weird, almost a shuffle.
Yeah.
So like he just seemed a little bit.
And there's one where he did that and then ended up making it across, but just barely.
Yeah, just barely.
And,
like
you
he would
know,
have gotten beaten by a better shooter.
Yeah, and or a quicker shooter because he had to settle
Yeah.
it down a little bit, and if he hadn't been, he gave up a lot of space there, and
Yeah, his
was lucky to
positioning.
have crossed. Yeah, there's more desperation, not like Dominic Hasek.
No, not floppy, but
Yeah.
just a little bit like 10% out of position at all times. And yeah, obviously he won and he had a good game. The better goalie though, I thought, was Brent Brochu of the London Knights. Incredible poised goaltender.
Absolutely.
Very, very solid performance. Had a terrible start. I think the shots were 18-4 at one point.
Yeah.
For London. London came out of the gates flying, and I think Guelph had two goals on 8
shots.
Yeah, two goals on 8 shots.
He was 75% at one point.
Yeah.
It was a little bit rough for him.
Yeah, ended the game at 29 of 33, including the game winner, obviously.
90% is good, but
not, other than the start of the game, really settled down, very poised, not a lot of extra movement, good skater. This is a guy was undrafted last year. This is a guy that will go some point in next year's draft, I think. Just by the one game looking at him and the tapes that I've seen, game tape I've seen of other games this year, he's off to a great start with London. Obviously, he's 9-1-1 after tonight. London's probably the best team in the OHL right now, at least in this division. Guelph, London, Kitchener, Midwest division.
And he is a bit of a smaller goaltender.
A little bit smaller.
Bennett, Owen Bennett's 6'3". I think Brochu is only 6 feet. It kind of goes against the grain that you need the big, huge goaltender. And then Brochu, he's calm, grabs everything, and he looked great tonight.
Yeah. Is there anyone else you want to touch on?
I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
We covered everything.
A couple other draft eligible guys. None that really stood out a whole lot for me.
Sim.
Oh yeah, Colton Sim.
Colton
Sim?
Langdon Sim.
Yeah,
Apologies.
Langdon Sim.
He's a good skater. His positioning's all right, but his puck control just wasn't there tonight. There's a few times that I felt like on the breakout he kind of lost the puck when he could have had it, and of course he's not a big scoring type anyway. But I'd like to see a little bit more from him to be able to get the puck out of his zone and like really be a kind of bottom six two-way kind of guy. That's it.
Yeah. We had a great time at the game. Let us know if you want to do more OHL videos. We're gonna go see a bunch of games anyway, but if you guys want us to take you along with us,
yeah,
we'll continue to do that. The OHL is great. If anyone's watching this or in the Ontario region of Canadian juniors or anywhere along that has junior teams, this hockey was really good, and it's a chance to see the next generation of NHL stars. It's a chance to try your hand at some amateur scouting, try to figure out pick which guys are gonna be the NHL players, and have your bragging rights to your friends and stuff. Like I saw him play with Kitchener in 2015.
And a guy that you want for your team, even be like, I'm a fan of Toronto. I'd love to see them draft Jackson. Jackson Edward.
Yeah, you become fans of these kids, and when they get drafted, it's cooler because a lot of their names. And this kind of hockey is in our backyards for people who live in Ontario and in Canada. This kind of hockey's in our backyards. It's available. Tickets are cheap. Not a very expensive night. We went down there and back. I think it was $35 a ticket.
That's it.
It's relative. It's very cheap. It's way cheaper than if you're in Toronto for like a Leafs ticket. Obviously, it's possible to go $1,000 downtown Toronto, but this kind of hockey's great, and we want to watch more of it. We are going to watch more of it.
And we want to make it more accessible to you guys. It's we look at American sports, football, basketball, the college culture towards them is so huge. Everybody's following college sports, and we don't really get that in Canada for hockey, where our juniors and college sports, that's just not a thing. And we get to make that more available for you guys. You guys can get more hype about it. You guys can go buy our own tickets, and all of a sudden we're building a culture around enjoying these juniors.
Yeah. It was fun. Let us know if you liked the video, and yeah, subscribe for more content. We're gonna do all sorts of hockey content this year. It's gonna be good. We got spoiler. We got a little pack opening coming. We went. Alex has been here. Obviously, he's not normally in my house, but we got some packs. We're gonna open in a video in the next couple days. Look out for that. Look out for more hockey cards and video NHL 22 and all sorts of stuff. Peace.